Welcome back. This is an Omnium from last weekend. It is the RC3 Omnium River City Cycling Classic, and I am going to be showing you basically the last 10 minutes of the race. I don't have any power or heart data or anything like that on this, but I'm just going to talk you through what happened. I put up the stats on the race, actually on the course, which is a little over 29 miles per lap, and we do 2 laps. So we ended up doing about 58 miles, and it has a little over 1,200 feet of elevation each lap. A bunch of rolling hills, pretty good size hills, with gradients of 4 to 6%. This race was hot for us in the Pacific Northwest. It was about 83 degrees, and it was very windy. We had sustained winds of about 15 miles an hour with gusts of about 25 miles an hour. So it made for kind of an interesting race. Nobody really tried any breakaways. There were some attacks. I tried an attack about 3 miles in just to kind of get the pace going, but it basically was just too windy to stay out there on your own, and I think the field was too small, so everybody kind of stuck together. That being said, there was some attrition in the field. We lost about 5 people dropping off the back of this field. And what we have going on here is we've got the Masters 50 plus, which was about 16 riders. Then we also had the Cat 3 4 field, which was only 4 riders. And we had the women's P1 2 3 field, which was only 2 riders. But one of them is a Uzbekistani national rider, and she is super strong. I'll point her out when we get to her in a minute. My history with this race is a lot better the last couple of years, but basically the first 2 times I did this race, so I've done it 4 times. The first 2 times I did this race, it was hot. I think it was even hotter than 83 degrees. And I basically just cramped up completely and came in dead last. So that was 2 years in a row. Last year, I think the temperature was like in the low 70s, so it was perfect for me, and I ended up getting third place last year. This year, again, it's 83 degrees, so it's a little bit hot, and I had planned on trying to mitigate the heat, so I had a little plan going into it. First off, this year I have been doing a lot more of dry sauna, trying to overcome my issues with heat, because that's basically my kryptonite. If it's over 80 degrees, I'm gonna suffer and I'm gonna cramp up. I basically do. I'm on the high end of salt sweaters, so I did the precision hydration test, and it had me losing about 1,825 milligrams of sodium per liter of sweat. Um, so ever since I did that test, I've been on race days. I put about 1,500 milligrams of sodium or electrolytes in my bottles. So typically I try to do about 1,500 per hour. And I think that's definitely helped. I also think the sauna has helped a lot. Um, that and not trying to attack off the front all race definitely meant that I felt a lot better this time around than I have in other races with the heat. Um, I will say though, I was about 1 bottle short. I had planned on bringing 3 bottles, which I did, and one of them was like a liter size bottle. So I had plenty of fluid. Those all had electrolytes and carbs in them. And then I was going to get 2 of those little water bottles that you get like at a convenience station or a gas station to shove in my side pockets of my bib or my jersey. And I was going to use those to douse myself throughout the race, and if I needed it, kind of have it as an emergency backup for water. Unfortunately, I didn't plan well, and I was rushing around on the day of the race, in the morning of the race, and I ended up buying water bottles that were too big to fit in my jersey pockets. so, so I ended up with just 3 bottles. Um, and that turned out not to be quite enough. I ran out of water with a little less than 10 miles to go, and I actually started cramping up probably with about 7 miles to go. So that kind of affected how I was going to finish this race. Um, During the race, there was like I said, not a lot of attacks, but Joel Jones, who I will point out when we get up here, was on the front most of the race. I mean, he spent most of the time leading us around the course, which was great. If he's willing to do it, I'm willing to follow behind. So here are hitting one of the rollers, and people kind of pour it on here to try to drop some people. As you can see by everybody's bibs, it is hot. Everybody's got salt on their butts. And there's definitely no shade on this course. This is all farmland in eastern Washington, and it's just wide open. Right in front of me is Doug Carlton from Keller Rohrbach, and we're all just kind of cruising along. We're getting close. We're probably about 4 kilometers from the finish, 4 or 5 kilometers from the finish right now. And Doug is in the 50 plus. And I know he's a strong rider, so I want to keep an eye on him. There were a couple guys in this race that I didn't really know too well. There's Steve Hansen, who I know very well. He is probably one of the strongest 50 plus racers. Well, he is one of the strongest 50 plus racers in Washington. I think he's won 8 state championships so far. He's also won state championships twice in Oregon. So basically in this race, it's kind of always racing for second place, unfortunately. I'm just not at his level. But I did think that I had a good shot of getting on the podium in this road race. Up here on the left is Joel Jones in the orange kit. And like I said, he was the one that was leading us out for a lot of the time. And this is where the moves happen. Well, not quite. This is close to the end. This is one of the hills. There's basically like 2 or 3 hills, and they're kind of stretching it out here. In this case, everybody gets back on them. We're getting close to basically the final deciding point, final hill, and I think the field itself has been shattered pretty well. I wasn't really looking behind me, but all my competition is really right up in front here. You got Steve up there, you got Doug Carlton, you got Joel, you got a couple of the 3-4 riders, and you've got that Uzbekistani national rider, Nafasat, right there. And you can see that Doug has made a move right now, this final hill, and Steve and Nafasat respond, as well as Joel and this Cat 3 rider. So I follow the Cat 3 rider. Oh, actually, also Clint, who's a Cat 3 or 4 rider, is up there as well. I am hoping that this all comes together and these guys can bridge us up to the attack, but unfortunately, that did not happen. They stay away. I was a little hesitant to go all in just because I'd been cramping and I thought I might completely cramp. But that was a mistake. I actually should have gone a little harder. Might have had a chance to contest second place in this. But right now, I'm still in the running for a podium. Uh, Three of the people up ahead of me are not in my category. Two of the Cat 3-4 guys and one woman. And we're getting to the downhill now. I passed the 3-4 rider, and we've got Joel Jones in front of me, who's in the 50 plus. I know he's been doing a lot of work all race, so I figure I should get past him. But I also noticed that I've got Max Coleman from Mercedes, who is coming up on my left. I don't really know him. I think he's strong. I kind of looked on one of the road race results, and it looked like maybe he's just got back into racing. So he comes past me, but I know we've got more than 200 meters to go, so I slot in behind him because I figure both of us shouldn't be out in the wind. And once we hit about 100 meters, then I start my sprint. And I am able to get him just on the line and come in for third place in the 50 plus. And there you go. There's a shot of us sprinting with Joe Skoke in the background there, who came in fourth. There's the podium for the 50 plus and the results for all three of the categories that race together. Super fun, and Sunday is the crit, and I'll be putting that video up shortly. Thanks.